Hello everybody, welcome to Yin Yoga. My name is Alexa Newman and I am a librarian here at the Algonquin Library, and I'm also a certified yoga instructor. I am coming to you from the library today. We are back holding as staff members. I had initially promised in my last class, I said we were going to do a special sun salutation solstice celebration. However, I injured my back, and so I am not feeling quite up to actually demonstrating those poses with you. And you can see I'm actually adjusting my blocks here because I am feeling stress and a bunch of different muscle groups right now. So instead, I'm going to be leading a class that is going to use a prop that we all have around our house. We're going to do a couple of items just on the mat, and then we're going to do wall Yin Yoga. So we are going to be using the wall as our primary prop. And most of the moves, therefore, will be inversions, and they are going to be very good for our back. But I'd like to invite you to get yourself into an easy seated position of your choosing. You can see I am crisscross applesauce, but I actually have the blocks up on the second level to hold my knees. I'm trying to relax and loosen them, which is what we're doing here in Yin. So, like I said, each day we respond a little bit differently. Our bodies respond, and they are more open or more tense, depending on a lot of different factors. And I know that my back injury is affecting all of me right now, so I'm supporting myself with blocks. So, crisscrossy, applesaucy, or an easy seated that is comfortable for you. If you want to sit on a pillow or a blanket, support yourself with blankets at your knees, do so now. And we're going to begin our opening meditation. I invite you to close your eyes and relax and just release. Relax all of those muscles in our body. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about setting our intentions and beginning our practice from what we would do in an opening meditation. Before we even start our practice, it's helpful to think about your intention. Once you have it clear in your mind, it's easy to choose what we're going to do. Why are you practicing yoga today? You may never have asked yourself this question, and yet you still feel a need to practice. Why? There's no wrong answer. Anything that actually brings you to your mat is to be respected. But by understanding your inner drive, that will help you to focus on your goal and to pay attention. Prayer has been used for centuries in the same manner as setting an intention. We're dedicating our efforts to a greater purpose than ourselves. In yoga text, it's actually called Ishvara Pranadhana. It's a surrendering of your effort to something greater. So as we sit, bring to mind someone or something that needs special attention, assistance, or gratitude. Dedicate your efforts during your practice to that person or thing. This dedication will fill you with the resolve to actually to do the practice with full attention along with intention. And when a challenging time comes up during the practice, and it usually does, you will possibly find the extra strength you need because of this dedication. Making an intention into a dedication is sending your energy upward. Sometimes this isn't what we need. Sometimes what we really need to do is actually pull our energy inward through an invocation. And you can invoke resources and support from the outside. Is also a common way to start a yoga practice. Begin by allowing your awareness to sink into your lower belly. From here, notice the rhythm of your own breath. Feel the rising and falling of each inhalation and exhalation. Do not try to change anything. Notice and accept the breath exactly as it is. After a few breaths, allow your awareness to broaden. Notice other feelings in your body, like your weight on the floor, the temperature of the air against your skin, and the sounds around you. Now bring your awareness to your heart level. Check in with the state of your emotions. This can be difficult, but they don't need to be big, dramatic feelings. Look closely and don't dismiss anything that appears. The emotion may be as small as boredom. Perhaps there is a little bit of irritation. Contentment can also appear from time to time. The key is just to notice what is arising without judging yourself for what is there. Don't criticize yourself for being bored or irritated. Don't congratulate yourself for being content. Just notice what's happening right now. And after another minute or so, allow your awareness to rise to that point right between the eyes. From here, let's start to pay attention to the thoughts that are arising. Don't try and stop them. Just watch each new one arise. Notice it, and then let it fly away. Begin to move your energy. Yin Yoga removes the blockages deep in our connective tissues, allowing the chi or prana to flow unhindered. In a Yang practice, we use movement to start this flow of energy, but that engages the muscles, which we try to avoid in Yin. In Yin Yoga, we can use other techniques. So while you move into, hold, and move out of the postures, keep taking inventory. Notice how the practice affects you on the physical, emotional, and psychological levels. Accept whatever you find out and stay curious. There may not be enough time in a short meditation to do all of those that we just talked about, but don't worry, we're going to have plenty of time during each of our poses to come back to this. Okay, we're going to now move into our first pose. So if you were using blocks or anything like that, you can remove them, and we are going to come around into child's pose. And I think for me today, I'm going to actually go into a wide-legged. So that's where I'm actually bringing my knees out to the edges of the mat. And then I'm going to come forward and move my bottom back to where I'm trying to sit on my heels. Bring my forehead towards the floor and my arms out in front of me. And I'm just going to relax here. I'm looking up so I can see you all. There are other variations you can do of this as you're feeling called. If you want to have your knees together, that's great too. You can take your hands and actually wrap them around and move them back towards your heels. And that also is another version of child's pose. I want you to do what feels comfortable to you in this moment. We need to settle our breath. In and out through our nose. And start relaxing all of those muscles. Okay, let's begin to come back up to a tabletop position. If you remember my instructions for tabletop, what we want to do, turn sideways so you can see me. Our knees are hip distance apart and directly below our hips. Our hands opened up, what I always call jazz hands. So the fingers are wide to provide more support. And then we want our wrist, elbow, shoulder directly in line, directly out. We don't want them spread out too far in. Okay. I'm going to show you what it looks like from the front now. If I'm too far out, that's not supporting me. That's not offering the optimal support. So, same thing if you're too far out, it stresses us. We can make a more structured box that's going to hold us the longest. Once we're here, we're going to go into cat and cow. Cat is when we arch our backs up, drop our head down, and we're going to rotate the creases of our elbows in towards each other. And then we're going to inhale. We drop the belly down in front of us, lift our heads up, and rotate the elbow creases towards the wall in front of you. And have that belly button drop towards the floor. Exhale up into an arch. Inhale, back down. We're going to do a few rounds of this at our own pace. And each time, maybe increase that arch just a little bit. And then flexing the other direction. So we're really getting some nice movement in the spine. From the tip up by our skulls all the way down to the tailbone. Okay, we are now going to begin our floor practice. So, we're going to begin, and I'm going to pull my mat up as close to the wall as I can. I'm going to have my blocks and my bolster nearby. Okay. First pose we're going to do is going to be butterfly, but it's up against the wall. So I'm going to show you how to get yourself into the wall as close as you can. I found that this method has always worked really well for me, especially because I have a big tushy, and it's not always easiest to like scoot in towards the wall. So if you pull yourself all the way up to the wall as close as you can, and then lay down and rotate yourself around, you're going to be a lot closer, and then you could just kind of shimmy in a little bit more. Okay, so once we're here, we're going to bring our feet bottoms together, and here I'm scooting a little bit more and dropping my knees open, just like we do in a regular butterfly, except our back should be flat against the ground. I want you to relax all of your muscles. Imagine that belly button going through the floor. Lower back should be on the floor. Your back should not be arched. There should not be any kind of a real curve to the spine where you could get space through. The goal is to try and have the spine relax, the back relax, so there's no space in that small of the back. And once you're here, you can, if you choose to add a little bit more pressure, bring your hands onto your calves and pull this down just a little bit. But once we're here, remember, we're releasing, letting go of those muscles. Nothing should be flexed or tensed. Release, let go. Remember, if we feel pain, ease up a little bit. The idea is to find our edge, not go past it. Okay, slowly, we're going to extend the legs up until they're straight. And actually, let's pedal them just a little bit up and down, like you're pushing on a gas pedal. And then we're going to bring them to stillness. And we are going to be in wall caterpillar. So, we're not going to be using a strap or anything. We are just going to be relaxed here. I don't want you to relax so much that your legs fall, but I don't want any tension in those muscles. So we want to have a little bit of a micro bend in those knees. You don't want to hyperextend. Those of us that are hyper flexible, what they used to call double jointed when we were kids back in the day, actually opens you up. You are more susceptible to joint injuries because your body can open up more widely, and so you could possibly end up with, like I said, more injuries, tears, etc. So sit here, feel your breath in and out through your nose, slow and steady. So some of the benefits of being in caterpillar, I'll share here with you. It actually, this pose helps to sharpen our memory. It will soothe the sympathetic nervous system. It could help prevent fatigue. It will rest our hearts and normalize blood pressure and pulse rate. It could help reduce angina. Helps with the relief of chronic headaches and eye strain. It also helps to reduce stress in our facial muscles. It can help alleviate stress-related compression or a feeling of tightness in our throats and diaphragms. It will improve blood circulation in the pelvic area. It also helps regulate the blood supply to our endocrine glands and activates the adrenals and helps relax the thyroid gland. And finally, it also stretches our vertebral joints and stretches the ligaments of our spine. So there's a whole lot going on with what seems to be a very, very simple pose. Okay. Well, now it's time to move into a wall squat, which is a variation on happy baby. So what I want you to do is pull those feet down. Could you widen them out just a little bit? Actually bring those feet bottoms flat to the wall. And then pull the knees down until it's in a comfortable squat. Because remember, in happy baby, the idea is to get the knees towards our armpits and flat in. So there we are. I want you to put your hands down on the ground, palms down. And once you're here, I want you to relax. Make sure we're breathing. In and out through your nose. Relax the muscles in your face. Loosen your jaw a little bit. Maybe open that mouth. Take the tongue off the roof of your mouth. Relax your shoulders. Relax your back. Relax those glutes, those hamstrings. Okay, let's extend those legs again all the way up. Pedal them out like we're hitting gas pedal or a bike. Come to stillness. And now we are going to let them drop open into a straddle. Okay, let's bring those legs. I want to bend them a little bit, bring them back. Up. Okay. Our next pose. We're calling Eye of the Needle. And what we're going to do is we're going to cross that right leg over the left knee. And we want to have the leg higher. The foot is on the left foot, which is on the wall. You may want to move it up or down, up or down, to help intensify or lessen the pressure of the stretch. Remember, we are looking for what we call the edge, not to go over it. We don't want to go into pain. We want to keep it in a stretching mode. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Do a quick scan. Are you clenching any of your muscles? Are you tensing everything? Or is there anything that you can loosen up and let go of? Okay, we are now going to bring this twist down to the side. Drop your body towards the left. Come onto your side. You might need to readjust a little bit. And we're going to drop the right knee down towards the floor. And rest your head on the left arm. And then take your right arm and reach it behind you. Relax those muscles. Each exhale, find yourself relaxing and deepening into the stretch. Maybe take your head off the shoulder and move it onto the floor. Okay, we're going to twist ourselves back up. Bring the legs back up the wall. That's great. Okay. Holster over the leg. Now we're going to bend the right knee and cross the left foot over. Then adjust that right foot to a point where it's comfortable for you and you will still feel the stretch, but you're not crossing over the edge into pain. Relax into it. Relax your spine. Release those muscles. Let go. Right. Okay, we're going to drop now down towards the right. And move those just a little bit. There we go. Bring that right leg over, or the left leg over the right. Send your left hand behind you. Let it drop down where it's comfortable. And relax. Do that quick scan from your body, top to bottom or bottom to top, to notice where you may be tensing muscles instead of letting them go. If your thoughts are wandering, come back to your focus, to your invocation or your intention. Focus on that thought. When other thoughts come across your mind, acknowledge them, let them float away. Okay, we're going to begin to bring ourselves back around to legs facing up. At this point, I think we actually need to sit up. This is where if you, we have an option that we are going to bring our bolsters in. This is where you have a pillow or some other form of prop. We're going to do a pose called wall arch. So I'm moving that bolster in there. And I'm going to actually be propping my tushy up on it. So, there we go. So once again, to get into position, I'm pulling myself up close to the bolster. Then I come up, and then I'm going to actually slide the bolster under my tush. There we go. All right. So the bolster is under my tushy. And it lifts me up a little bit higher. And this is actually first step, leading us into a shoulder stand. And if this is all the further you come in the pose, this is okay. We can actually extend the pose by coming a little bit higher and then dropping one leg forward. Okay, and if you drop one leg, exchange. We're going to drop the other leg now. Okay, bring that left leg back. And we're now going to roll ourselves off that bolster. Okay. Our last pose, we're going to be on our tummies. And it's a variation of Sphinx. Okay. And this one, so we're going to be on our bellies. We back up so that our knees are up against the wall. Don't zip them together. Have them a little bit further apart. And we'll bolster over because step one, this is all the further you go, that's all that's available to you, that's great. Just hold your elbows in front of you and look down. And this is a wall Sphinx. If you want to deepen it, you can actually come up onto your bolster. And that's a little bit deeper of a back bend. And the fullest iteration of this pose is to actually go up into seal all the way up. And if you do that, you're probably going to feel a lot of pulling on the tops of your thighs. That is a really, really intense version of the pose. I'm going to try to make sure that you're even, that you're not leaning towards one shoulder or the other. You want to be centered. And relax. Don't clench that tushy. Imagine your belly button sinking closer to the floor, your lower back following. Breathe in and out through your mouth. Relax your face. Don't squeeze it up tight. Relax your brow, your cheeks, your jaw. Okay. We're now getting towards the end of this pose. It's time to transition yourself into Shavasana. So you can roll over onto your back and lay flat on the mat. You can do legs up the wall, or you can prop your legs up on the bolster. That's one I tend to really like, is to just drape my knees over the bolster. So while you get yourself comfortable, so if you need to put on a sweater or your socks, or get a blanket or something, a little towel to cover your eyes. Shavasana, is our calming down period. So you get yourselves prepared for that. And I am going to share our closing meditation with you. I was reading to you at the beginning of class, and I am also reading the ending. This is from The Complete Guide to Yin Yoga by Bernie Clark, who is one of the founders of Yin. And this book is considered one of the seminal works in Yin, which is a fairly young practice. So I want you to close your eyes. Going to be talking about benefits of mindfulness. There are 3 principles of Yin Yoga. The first one is we want to come into our pose at the appropriate depth. And I mentioned that to you all frequently. We want to find our edge. We don't want to hurt ourselves. Yoga is not painful, but we want to get some benefit from it. The next one is sometimes hard for me. The second is to resolve to remain still. We don't want to fidget. We want to just be. And then the third part is holding the pose for time. Now, holding a pose for time is a magic ingredient, and it does benefit us physiologically. When we hold the stress of a pose for a long time, our tissues will deform, reform, and become stronger, thicker, and longer. Coming to that appropriate edge is a magic ingredient that benefits us energetically. We actually stimulate our acupressure points and meridian lines that send energy to our organs. Resolving to remain still is the magic ingredient that benefits us mentally and emotionally. We can practice finding this still point at the center of our drama when we hold a Yin Yoga pose long enough that we become challenged. The urge to move is growing stronger and our mind is chattering, but we continue to breathe with awareness until finally that eye at the center of the hurricane appears. The winds are still flowing furiously around us, but we have become calm. When we practice finding calmness in the midst of a fierce storm during our yoga practice, we learn how to find that same centered still point at other times in our life when drama threatens to overwhelm us. When we are calm, our vision expands, and we can decide more skillfully the course of action that we wish to follow. When we practice mindfulness, at first within our yoga practice, so that we learn how to also practice during the rest of our life, we learn to pause and see what's actually going on, and thus we are open to taking wiser actions. Now, I've talked pretty frequently in my classes about some of the benefits of mindfulness, which include improving our blood pressure, lowering our heart rate, reducing our fight or flight response. It activates our rest and digest response. It helps improve digestion, decrease inflammation, and improve our immune systems. Now, these are all physical benefits, and that's great. But we also gain from this practice emotionally. Now, it's possible to change our thoughts, but to do so, we first have to pay attention to them. We need to be mindful of what's actually happening right here, right now. We take an inventory of what we are feeling, and it begins pretty simply. Pay attention to your breath that's happening right now. Begin to notice the sensation of breathing. noticing what happens as you breathe. Next, become aware of the emotional backdrop that is present in your heart. Finally, become aware of your thoughts. Now, of course, we always have thoughts coming and going. Never are we trying to change what we are experiencing. We are simply open to whatever is arising and passing. This is the beginning of using mindfulness therapeutically to help us in our daily life deal with inevitable dramas that occur now and then. There are 4 reactions that we can have to the strong sensations that will arise in Yin Yoga. 2 of these are very yin-like and 2 are yang-like. Only one of them is actually a really skillful way. The other 3 occur more out of habit and by choice. The reaction we default to in our practice is most likely the reaction we also default to at other times in our lives when we face a great challenge. The first is running away from what's happening. The second, trying to change what's happening. Number 3, giving up and suffering through what's happening. And the last one is accepting what is happening. Now, during a Yin Yoga practice, when drama reaches a peak, when we really want to come out by paying attention to what's happening, we will notice our cravings and our aversions. We start to notice how we want something else other than what's happening right now. Are you going to run away by hiding mentally in some fantasy? Are you moving to a slightly different position? Are you staying still but getting upset and thinking of how this is a stupid pose and a stupid teacher and you don't deserve to be treated like this? Or do you accept that at this moment in your life that this is what you're experiencing? For some of us, our preferred response is to change the world. And this is a really highly valued quality in our culture. For others, our preferred response to life crises is to hide. This is a running away technique. And these are both yang strategies that we use to deal with challenges. The third is a yin strategy. Just give up and feel sorry for ourselves. We're victims. Now, none of these strategies are skillful, but they are very, very common. The final strategy is also yin-like, but it's very skillful. Paying attention and accepting to what's happening. This doesn't mean that we continue to do nothing if doing nothing is inappropriate. We may choose to do something, but it will be a conscious decision based upon our best judgment at the time. In a Yin Yoga pose, after 5 minutes, we may decide wisely that it is indeed time to move. But this is a conscious decision and not a default reaction to what's happening. This decision can only happen when we are mindful and paying attention to our breath, our bodies, and our thoughts. Mindfulness is the energy of being aware and awake to the present moment. It is a continuous practice of touching life deeply in every moment. To be mindful is to be truly alive and at one with those around us. Practicing mindfulness does not require that we go anywhere different. We can practice mindfulness in our room and on our way from one place to another. We can do very much the same things we always do: walking, sitting, working, eating, talking. except we learn to do them with an awareness of what we are doing. This is the goal when we hold yin poses in stillness. We awaken to the present moment. We touch what is happening in our body and in our heart and mind. We don't have to go anywhere. Right here, right now. This is life. It's time to start coming back. Start wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe make some circles, your wrists and your ankles. And then roll over to one side. Give yourself a nice little hug. And then bring yourself up to an easy seated position. We're going to end our practice with 3 rounds of sun breath. Bring your hands out to your sides. We're going to lift them up over our head. Inhale up. Exhale out. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale, bring them down. Last inhale, bring them up. Collect some of the energy from the universe, the positivity. Bring it through your vision center and into your heart. The light in me sees the light in you. I honor you as you honor me. That is a translation of the word namaste. I thank you so much for sharing your practice. Have a wonderful week. Be well, everybody. Namaste.